What's up, Frost Bros? Welcome back to How to Elder Scrolls. More specifically, my little mini series on how to play each class in the Elder Scrolls 1 arena. And today we are on to the Knight. The Knight in Shining Armor, the heavily armored Giga Chad of the Warrior class archetypes. But anyways, without further ado, let's get into it. So the Knight class is the ninth class alphabetically in the list of classes in the Elder Scrolls 1 arena. They have D experience scaling, meaning they get moderate experience gain, not really as good as C scaling, but it's a little better than E scaling. They get a D18 hit die. They have access to all weapons. They can wear up to plate armor, though it is a specialty where they're not allowed to wear leather armor, but they are allowed to wear chain and plate. They can get up to tower shields. They have 25% thievery efficiency. They have 0 times their intelligence spell points, and they get 0% critical strike chance, and they start with a broadsword. So, of course, knights are actually a part of the warrior archetypes, and this is actually going to be the first class we're reviewing that actually has access to plate armor. So, okay, but anyways, knights are the fighters of the noble class. They are well schooled in the ways of chivalry and conduct themselves with honor and dignity. Knights may use any weapon, wear any armor except for leather, and use any shields. In addition, because of Knight's innate strength of character, he or she is immune to paralyzation, whether they be carried by spells or poison. They also have the ability to repair damaged weapons and armor. The ability is done automatically to any weapon or armor in their inventory. Knights and the other warrior subclasses do not rise in experience as quickly as a warrior. Okay, well anyways, advantages. Have a moderately high health point gain per level, being a D18, which is not bad. Uh, one of the three classes one of the only three classes able to equip plate armor and tower shields. So, yeah, like only knights, rangers, and warriors can actually wear plate armor, but only barbarians, knights, and warriors can use tower shields. Well, anyways, you're also immunity to paralysis is hugely helpful against lizardmen and ubiquitous spiders. I find that it's more useful against spiders than lizardmen, because honestly, I've fought like hundreds of lizardmen just across the game, and I don't think I've ever once got paralyzed by lizardmen in the slightest. But it is definitely useful against spiders. Anyways, unique abilities to self-repair equipment, including enchanted items and artifacts which can be repaired. Repairs occur at midnight. Disadvantages: cannot equip leather armor. Attacks cannot critically hit. Relatively less potential health points compared to warriors and barbarians. So yeah, their hit die is a little lower than warriors and barbarians, but definitely pretty far up there when compared to, well, all the thief archetypes and mage archetypes. Definitely far up there. Anyways, notes. Knights are one of the only two classes capable of using every artifact in the game. The ability to automatically repair your gear means your equipment will last longer in the field and in dungeons. And you won't have to visit blacksmiths as often to pay and wait for repairs. The inability to equip leather means relatively little in practice, as treasure piles contain only only contain plate armor pieces anyway, and by the time leather armor pieces are available to be purchased, once you escape the Imperial dungeons, you can also purchase chain and plate armor. Like warriors, knights are fairly dependent on high-end plate armor and enchanted armor items for viability at high levels and later in the game. Well, anyways, that's everything on the UESP. I think we should go ahead and hop in the game and see about creating a knight. Alright, and here we are in character creation. Let's go ahead and select our class. So of course we're going to scroll down and play as a knight just below the healer and just before the mage. And now we're going to need a good name for our knight. And, you know, I can't play as an orc, so playing as Mazoga today would be out of the picture. Um, she would make a really good knight. But let's see here. What all good knights could we run? I guess, I guess we could run with just a classic name, you know. No, actually, here. You know, just to be funny, we'll just call ourselves Sir. And you know what? To be extra funny. Anyways. Alright, so Sir is going to be born in... let's see here. So, being a high elf would kind of be useless as a high elf knight, since high elves have immunity to paralyzation as well as the knight class itself. So doubling up on immunity is just kind of lame. So, honestly, I feel like playing as a Bosmer. You know, because I don't, if I remember correctly, Wood Elves do get heightened, like, melee attacks. So, like, playing as a Bosmer Knight might actually be somewhat decent. I remember trying to play as a Bosmer Knight before, and I mean, your combative stats at the beginning, aren't exactly great, so you do need to get some good rerolls in. However, you still get good enough, like, later on. So we're just going to get a few rerolls in here. Let's see here. You might want to have some decent strength. Probably a lot of agility, though. You know what? Here. 55 agility and 55 strength shouldn't be too bad as a good start. We also want to work on endurance later, but you know, that's perfectly fine. We're going to save up our stats. And old Miss Sir here is going to have to, well, try and get out of the Imperial dungeons. Well, let's see how this goes. So, of course, here we are. We got our broadsword here. It does 1 to 12 damage, not really bad. So we'll just go ahead and equip that. We're going to go ahead and grab the key so we can get out of this place. Even though you can bash down doors, I do like grabbing the key because it is kind of there. So, and now, time for the old save scum exploit. So, yeah, I'll catch y'all when I get some good. Okay, I mean, this is a pretty decent roll. I'll take what I get. I mean, I did find like oh, and I just realized the female sprite of the round shield isn't the die shield that the males get. That's cool. Get like a little eagle. That's neat. Well, anyways, we didn't exactly get really good loots on most of those rolls, but this is like the best we got, and honestly I feel like we can just roll with it. Shouldn't be too bad. I mean, we got all the health we really need, and I mean, once we get out of here we can just grind up in the first dungeon and, you know, just really get all of our loot that way. But of course we can just clear through these goblins like they're not there. We of course got goblins coming after us. And of course, oh, we're diseased. Uh-oh. I don't like being diseased. Well, oh, we got a level up, at the very least. That's a 3-pointer. Not very good, but hey, we'll put it into endurance. Let's get our health up a little more. And yeah. Well, the shift gate's here. I guess, I'm not sure if this disease is going to go away. I mean, what kind of disease do we have here? Stomach rot. I don't want to save and... Doesn't seem to be going away, but like... Well, let's... Oh. Yeah, that's death. Well, anyways, let's try that again, but this time don't get stomach rot. I mean, that's twice now this game gave me stomach rot. First time was in my main playthrough. Um, what are the chances? Yeah, but of course, when that happened, I was a healer, so I was able to just undo that. Oh yeah, there's the starting rat. The enemy you have to learn how to fight just to kill. Alright. Let's jump across this way. No goblins this time, instead we got rats. Just rats upon rats. I hear the rats in the walls. Alright. Well, this time we don't have stomach rot, so now... Oh, and we got another level up. This one might actually be a better... Nope. Same level up as last time. Alright, throw it into endurance. We'll try and get some good health for old Surser here. And yeah, I don't think... It does seem like bandits are in fact the death of us. As always. So yeah, we do have to be careful with bandits that spawn in. But other than that, other enemies do seem to be fair game. So of course, let's do our usual save scum, rest scum here. Until we can get through to fully healed. And then we can get into the first area and maybe not get killed by bandits. Ugh. I blew the memory list. Okay, well we're here again. Hopefully this time we don't die to bandits or goblins. We can take care of those. Yeah, but let's try to get fully healthed up, fully healed up, so that way we can... Oh god. The fact that I could see that before he fully loaded in, that was actually terrifying. Why did it load Fletchides? There we go. Alright, let's try this again. Yeah, it takes a really long time just to heal up, and of course we're going to die to yet another bandit. Right as we're about to fully finish healing up. That's... But hey, if we can manage to kill one of these bandits, I don't think that's going to be very possible. Well, Damn. Was that really another crash? Okay, hopefully these crashes stop crashing. You know, like goblins I can handle, but brigands? World's gone mad, I say. Oof. But yeah, it does seem like death is pretty much inevitable for old Surser here. But at least we can get some lucky occurrences. And maybe, just maybe, we can actually make it all the way to getting the first quest objective. So that way we can actually continue this. Because it does seem like Luck of the Dice really doesn't like me at the moment. And I do know I could just run around this place and probably go find the other loot pile so I could try to handle this dungeon more of the intended way, but you know. Come on. We actually killed one. And we leveled up. Alright, we got 3 points. Let's go ahead and get endurance to 60. And let's see what we got here. 6 gold pieces, a full suit of leather armor. We could at least sell. We could sell that. You know, it was a Nightblade, not an actual bandit with chain armor or anything. But that's fine. But of course, we got even more guys who are going to definitely kill us.
With you.
But hey, I mean, at least those guys do drop a lot of XP if you manage to actually kill them. It's just a real pain to kill them. And sometimes your game will just crash as you try to take a step forward. Come on, game. What are you doing today? Okay. These crashes are getting very annoying. But hey, oh wow, this guy's an archer. And, oh god, I managed to actually kill him. And I got some decent gold. Hey, I can at least sell that stuff. Another Nightblade. Of course it's the Nightblades I'm managing to kill. And you know what, like, at least I'm getting a lot of XP doing this. But this is starting to get repetitive. Hey, Lizard Man. Those guys supposedly are supposed to be able to, you know, paralyze you and stuff, but like, kind of doesn't happen, does it? But hey, maybe the bandits will stop spawning now. Well, at least I'm getting non-bandit enemies, but still. I guess I could go rest at one of those niches, but like... Oh god. Yeah, this is death.
With you died our...
Alright, well, we probably need to go sleep on one of those niches just to get some proper health in us. So let's see here. There might be some niches in here. Yep. Yeah, because sleeping on niches does provide for better cover when there's no enemies nearby, but, you know, sometimes enemies like to spawn and say F you no matter what. Well, anyways, now that we cleared those rats... Ugh. Never mind, the niches are not as safe as I thought. Come on, really, guys? Really? Can I just get a good night's rest anywhere? in this dank, decrepit dungeon. Like, that's all I ask. All I ask is for a good night's rest. Ugh. Hey, plate greaves. At least I can show off these things. So yeah, plate armor does provide a good amount of protection. It's just, when you find them, it's usually only like one piece. So, you know, here, let's see if this mark is a healing mark. Nope, not a healing mark. Okay, we'll go sell it later. If it was a mark of healing, that would have been very nice. But of course, we got enemies that are 3 seconds away from killing us at any given time. And these niches are about as safe as nothing. Like, seriously. What is my luck today? Is it actually just the night class itself, or is my luck really just, like, this bad? Because I'm barely getting any health back from constantly trying to rest in any given point, any given area. You know, these niches are supposed to be like safe havens, but they really aren't. Oh, finally.
It is said that Fang.
Alright, well, we got the Fang Layer thing. Well, we're finally healed up. Let's see here, that only took us to 11 at night, so want to camp for a while. Ugh, I'd say let's rest for a good 7 hours on this niche. There we go, it's 6:48 in the morning. We're at the other side of this dungeon, but honestly, I barely care. Let's see here, so we just ran all the way to the north side, so that there's the south section, so all we have to do is jump this way, jump, yeah, we got a few paths we can take here. Got a couple of rivers we can jump at least. But yeah, we do just need to head south, it looks like, mostly. I'm guessing I could just run this way, right? Because I think it was this section which led to... Oh, hello. Yeah, we're going to take damage while we're in the pit of doom. You do have to be careful. There we go. I can damage him from there. Alright. Alright. Let's go through this shift gate. I'm done here. Okay. Maybe we can sell up some good stuff and maybe get some good equipment, at least half decent equipment. You know, like, we could have probably hit a tavern while we were here in town, but honestly, didn't really want to handle with that. I feel like that took way too long just to do. A lot longer than it should have. That's for sure. But hey, let's go ahead and sell all of my equipment. I can't wear any leather equipment, so I'm going to have to sell all of that. course, we got some decent gold, so we could probably at least buy a moderate amount of chain. And see about being able to at least get some decent armor on us. Probably could get leather, or we probably could get plates, but honestly, I think a full set of plate is kind of pushing it. So yeah, after I finish selling all this junk, this equipment, this gunk, we can go ahead and, let's see here, so short bows, yeah. Because these short bows sell for basically nothing. Do have a mark though that we used a little. Yeah, 290 gold, that's perfectly fine. Now, let's see what kind of equipment is available. So as you can see, we do have plate available, but it's like kinda expensive. So we're probably just going to handle with just some chain equipment. So really, let's see here, chain boots, I'm going to counter that down to 22. And let's see here, so, oh god, nope, not selling. I'm going to buy, let's see here, maybe I think getting a chain cuirass and chain gauntlets is more worth it, because if I remember correctly, gauntlets and the cuirass get attacked more often. So here, we'll buy the cuirass. So 50 gold. We'll try to counter that down to 35. 36. Yeah, we can try to get it down to 36. 37 is pretty good. Let's now get the gauntlets. So yeah, that's usually 45, and we'll get that down to, I don't know, 28. 29. We can get it down to 30, right? What about 31? 32? Alright, 32 is reasonable enough for him. So we can get it down to 33 at very least. Let's see here. Now we can buy the rest of the chain set. So we're going to go ahead and get some pauldrons here. Actually, we'll mix and match a little. So here, I'll take the pauldrons for 22, 22, 22. There we go. And then we're going to get the right pauldron is going to be plate, just to mix and match a little. Let's see here, so that's 60 gold. We're going to drop that down to a solid 41, 42, perhaps 45. Yeah, well anyways, let's see here. So we got the pauldrons, we got the gauntlets, the greaves, the boots. We need a helmet. Yeah, and the helmet should just be the last thing, so let's see here. 33? Yeah, 33 is decent enough. And LC got a good weapon. Yeah, he doesn't really have very good weapons here, does he? The saber is pretty good, though. Not as good as the longsword, though. Ooh, do I want a longsword? Honestly, I think we'll get a good longsword once we're in Rahad. But yeah, now we should actually have a good setup for armor at the very least. So as you can see, even just from these pauldrons here, so a chain pauldron is -6 armor rating. A plate pauldron is -9 armor rating. So as you can see, my right pauldron is -3, my left is -2. So yeah. And as you can see, any place that isn't covered by my round shield or anything else, so yeah, chain areas are just +0s and plate areas are -3s. And with the round shield up, it drops that one plate area down to -5, and the 2 other chain areas to -2s. It's not bad. Well, anywho, I do suppose that's a good equipment setup right there. Because, I mean, let's see here. Like, I know that we got a broadsword. We're gonna get a good weapon at Rahad, though. We've definitely spent enough time here. We got some good armor, at least some decent enough armor. Good enough armor. That's what we'll call it. So now we can head back up to, Hammerfall to go to Rahad. And let's see about taking this first quest and checking out Stonekeep. And it does look like it is nighttime, so I'm not sure about resting outside, but here we'll give it a shot. Alright, now that we're fully healed, let's go ahead and drop a save. It's 3 early in the morning. We're going to camp until it's not 3 early in the morning. There we go. Alright. And of course no one wanted to mess with the knight, just sitting outside with a sword brandished. You know, no one wants to mess with little Miss Cercer. Anyways, let's go ahead and head on up to the castle, the palace, to speak with old Queen Blubomka, get Stonekeep, and of course try to... Ooh. This is one of those weapon shops, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Let's see what kind of weapons we can get here. I do know that there's an ebony axe in one of those shops, in one of these shops around here. And that could be a pretty good weapon to get. Let's see here. But you, my friend, sell... Ooh, Daikatanas. Daikatanas are not bad. Let's see here. You do sell a Daikatana of Will, Daikatana of Shock Resistance, a Silver Battle Axes. Yeah. So you're not the best store in town, but I do want to keep my options open. We may go two-handed, we may go one-handed. I might want to run shield, I might want to run, well, no shield. Alright, so, let's see here. I'll check a couple of stores before we start our grinding session and see how far we can get through Stonekeep. Daikatana of Speed, oh boy. Hang on. I do know that the Daikatana itself is like the highest tier weapon, so I do suppose we can just buy ourselves a Daikatana. For full price, that's perfectly fine. We'll of course sell our backup equipment, I guess. Or actually, you know, I'll keep it. You know, I'll be backup. I don't think that our Daikatana is going to break in a single video, but, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, 3 to 21 versus 1 to 12. That's definitely, something. Only that will, drop our armor rating. But you know what? Yeah, it's fine. I can sell my broadsword and round shield. And I guess we can go ahead and hit Stonekeep and see how far we can get just as a basic knight setup. With a basic knight setup. Of course, we should be able to find some decent plate armor. Might find some decent plate armor. It's not really a guarantee. You see, that's the funny part about it. You're kind of reliant on loot finds. Though for knights, rangers, and warriors, you at least get better luck when it comes to that because, well, loot piles offer plate armor and never like leather or chain armor. So it's kind of useful if you are a knight, ranger, or, well, warrior. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and get Stone Keep unlocked. And let's go ahead and do a little bit of grinding. I guess we don't have to do that much grinding, because most of this is literally just going to be invading Stone Keep, really. Because a lot of the stuff will be, well, stuff we'll find at Stone Keep. So here, let's see what kind of loot and luck we get. Just with our basic little setup here. So here, we're going to drop a save now that we're nice and ready. Brandishing our Daikatana. Let's go ahead and... You can see that we just tear straight through rats like it's nothing. Got a crystal, another Daikatana, you know. Perhaps I didn't need to spend all that gold, but you know, it is what it is. Ooh, we got a tower shield as well. But not really a lot of loot, huh? Not seeing any, Well, I do know that there's more loot piles back here. I do know there's a Minotaur, though. Oh, we got diseased. And it does seem like we are taking a good bit of damage. So despite the fact that, ooh, we do have a loot pile here, and a level up, we are going to take agility, because we do want to be able to dodge. And let's see here, what kind of experience we got? Or what kind of... We have cholera. Okay. So, we got diseased. That sucks. But hey, we should be able to rest up on this bed here. Just fine. How's that disease running? Yeah, resting up seems to just kind of make diseases not much of a problem. Oh, Minotaur's here. How well can we handle them? Yeah, Minotaurs have some nasty stats. And if you can't face a Minotaur... Oh, wow, we actually faced a Minotaur. Huh. Nice! Well, those guys drop some serious XP. And of course, we just need to rest for 23 hours, you know, nearly a day just to... Yeah, those guys drop like 500 XP a pop, or I think that was a whole 5,100 or 5,500. Ugh, I can math. But yeah, it does seem like we can grab at least a few loot piles here while we're here. We managed to kill the Minotaur of this area. That Minotaur is quite annoying. He has ended many of playthroughs. But he did not end Little Miss Cercer. Let's see here. Bracers, short sword. You know, we haven't really gotten any armor items lately, haven't we? You know, we just got the bracers, the crystal, the mark. Oh, the longsword is in fact enchanted 2 to 16. Huh. What's it enchanted with, though? I mean, we could equip the tower shield. That would desperately increase our armor rating. Well, it's definitely not enchanted with anything I can utilize. But hey, I mean, it's an enchanted longsword. We'll go longsword and tower shield for now. At least for a little bit. And we'll see about tearing through those Skellima bones. You know, that'll be the major test. We could probably buy some good armor at the main area, but you know, that's just grinding, really. Like, that's long form grinding. We're just trying to get, like, maybe an hour in of grinding. Alright, let's see here. So we're going to sleep up here on the checkpoint next to the speedrunning area. Getting some decent armor rating, not bad, not bad. let's see here. Guess we can check these rooms and see about grabbing the loot piles in here. Oh. Can open this door up. Yeah, that's right. This room doesn't have loot in it. You know, playing like a proper knight here. Just bashing down doors that we can't get into normally. Yeah, that's right. None of these rooms do have loot piles, do they? Oh well. We should really have all the equipment we need just for, normal run-of-the-mill. We should have enough equipment by now. Let's see about taking out these skeletons. How easy or hard it is. Okay, I mean, we're able to take them out. I'm able to take a hit, not really die quickly. I'm able to resist some damage. Because the skeletons, they're usually pretty deadly. And I'm able to take them on. I'm losing a little bit of health, but other than that, I mean, it does seem like I'm able to hold my ground. I am quite low, but... Okay, we are starting to cut it close, aren't we? We are really cutting it close. Alright, so the Knight class isn't quite clearing the skeletons out to the same degree that other classes were able to pull off. However, it does seem like we are just barely able to clear off all the skeletons without the need of any real magic items or potions or whatnot. But it's like just barely. And we just barely got a level up. Yeah, let's I guess let's throw it into agility. Then I guess increase speed a little. Oof. Definitely need to get to this bridge here so we can actually rest up. We're desperately in need of resting. And I guess we can see about dealing with the ghouls, though. What? Why is my resting going far into the hundreds? How am I resting for this long? What did I do to upset the arena gods? Okay, I mean, trying to figure out what happened there. Still got cholera. Yeah, we don't need rest, so I don't know why it did that. That was weird. Well, let's see how far we can get past these ghouls, huh? If we can get past these ghouls, then I'd definitely say that the knight is strong enough. We are diseased, and we should probably go back to see a healer, but, I want to see what happens if we deal with the ghouls. If the knight is capable of taking on the ghouls. Or at least getting past them. Because that's really what matters, is if you can get past the ghouls. You don't necessarily need to kill them all, but if you can get past them, then I'd say that this class is good. And yeah, it does look like these ghouls, in fact, do a lot of damage. Like, holy crap. Here, we'll retreat, make a tactical retreat, level up as we're climbing. Here, we'll get 70 agility. Maybe that'll help. Alright. I do notice that we are taking damage on occasion. I guess our disease is not really going away. It's hard to really tell what the disease is actually affecting, though. Because I'm guessing we're restoring all of our attributes as we rest. So really, diseases in Arena aren't as bad as they are in, like, Daggerfall. And we got a couple of ghouls here. And yeah, these ghouls are real nasty. But hey, we managed to get past them. Huh. Well, you know what? It definitely wasn't as clean as I expected. You know, I kind of expected the knight to be a little stronger than the archer. But, oh, an amulet and a flail. A steel helm. Let's see here, so... Nice, nice. Let's see what this amulet does. -1 armor. Okay, nice. Yeah, but like, honestly, it does seem like the knight class is more just well balanced. No, I'm encumbered. And I can't even equip all this stuff. Hang on. I guess that's another kind of downside, is you can't just pick up and use everything. So here, I guess we gotta drop a lot of stuff, which dropping in this game does is a little annoying, because you gotta individually select and then click drop and then click yes and then individually select, click drop, click yes, you know, like, but yeah, we can at least drop a few things, lower encumbrance enough. We should be able to grab this right pauldron, but you know, it's a right plate pauldron. Oh, and that one's slightly used. I don't want that. It's slightly used. Well, anyways, it does seem like the knight class is more just balanced in general for like the base game, which is not bad, but honestly, it's like, you know, like the knight just doesn't seem to feel, you know. But hey, here's the thing. So at least you can do the main quest relatively easily within like an hour of gameplay. My usual test for all these classes, and honestly, I'd say that knights are definitely pretty good. You know, since you can pull it off. Just you know, you don't really get all that much variety. It does seem like knights are a class that are better for the long game in general, with the whole collectathon of plate armor and stuff. But yeah, in like the early game, it's one of those things where the knight class doesn't seem to get features that really shine in the early game. At least I'm not seeing very many features that can shine very well in the early game. So, yeah, my review for the knight class. Let's see here. I definitely rank the knights a solid. I'd definitely say a solid out of 10, 7 out of 10, because I mean, the knight is definitely pretty decent. You definitely can do a lot. Yeah. Somewhere between 7 out of 10, maybe 8 out of 10, but I'm going to say 7 out of 10. Knight's not bad. You can definitely clear out a good chunk of the game with a good knight. But yeah, it does seem like a lot of the features are very late game oriented, so playing as a knight can be a little more on the rough side when it comes to starting things off if you're new to the game and you don't know how to grind all that much, or if you don't know that you should grind as much as you should in Arena. But yeah, I'd say the skill floor is definitely more mid-tier. Like, you definitely want to play this class if you at least know what you're doing, or at least have some research on Arena as it is. And I'd say its skill ceiling can, I'd definitely say it's definitely up there. You know, like if you want to really play a good knight, then you would have to know how to play a good knight. Like you can definitely run a knight pretty nicely with the whole fact that you get plate armor and whatnot. I mean, the health pool is definitely not the highest for what you get. However, in conjunction to getting access to armor, it isn't the worst thing in the world. Um, I guess the archer was only really better because you had access to a really good damage source when using a ranged weapon, so it kind of incorporates a use for ranged weaponry, which, I mean, I could have used ranged weaponry, but, like, ranged weapons in this game kind of suck unless you're an archer. Like, under normal circumstances, like, oh, look, that's plate helm. Uh, Under normal circumstances, like like a normal short bow does like what 1 to 8 damage, which is like basically nothing in this game. Like 1 to 12 is just about there. I think the longbow does like maybe 2 to 14, which is the same with flails, which is definitely a pretty good weapon choice, but like, eh, you know. But yeah, that's just my opinion on knights. I do hope y'all found this video helpful or engaging, and yeah, I do believe I can catch you on the next one. This has been your bro Frostbrew, and I'll catch you on the next one. Later!